tonight's show, The Anatomy of a Hater Part 2, or Volume 2. The Anatomy of a Hater, Volume 2. There you go. I forgot what I was doing for a second. Bring me back with the crowd. Yeah, here we go. Let's do it. Let's do this. Hey, love, share this for me. Share that out for me. What's good? What's good? Here's our show, Anatomy of a and Hater. Man, anybody can get posted on this Summer Jam screen, you know. Anyone can get thrown up on this summer. Anybody can get their face attached to a picture of some human anatomy.
I can't control it.
You know what I mean? If you're out here hating, and I find you hating, I mean, I'm coming for you. I am coming for you. I is live. Yeah. La. Oh, you know what? One more thing I could do is probably they told me I have to promote my show. But it's been a long, rusty ass day today. It's been a rusty ass day. And I'm not mad. I am not upset. Wow, that's how I sound. That's how I sound, guys. That's how I sound. Yeah, but it's been a crazy day. It's been a crazy week for a lot of us out there. And I would just like to say, let the children sing for us making it midway. We're halfway there. We're at the point of no return. No turning back now. Might as well finish this thing out strong. And that's what we're going to do. Yo, man, let me tell you what. First of all, I don't know why this screen is all zoomed in like this. Like Ray J's screen. Like Ray J's screen. Hold on. So you guys know what I'm talking about. Let me come up here. Hey, what's going on? I wonder if I can find this real quick. Oh, here it is. Maybe this might be it. Let me throw it up. Why does this do this to me? I don't want to log in, yeah. Oh, wow.
Just got the news. I'm going to be hosting the 5th annual BBQ in the city of Lauderhill. Yes, yes, yes. Fireworks popping off. Kids is going crazy right now. Listen, it's about to be a big event. We got legends coming out. It's going to be a big event. It's going to be a big event. And it's for everybody. Hold on. I'm doing a drop. I'm doing a drop, Melody, okay? Listen, I know you guys are doing it with me, but let me finish. All right, but look, let them know. Miss Chalet is going to be there.
No, that's not it. You know what? Actually, when I'm looking at Ray J right now, this is just me. This is just me. This is just now, just looking at this. He's kind of promoting this the way a Puff Daddy would promote on social media. I've never noticed that until now. Him and Diddy have similar tastes in marketing. That's what I've noticed. Wendy. It's my mama. Kato. Enough. But I just noticed, like, listen to him. He sounds like Diddy.
Yeah.
Also, John B.
Keep the kids off of there. That's what we want to do. But we can't have the babies up there. Sorry. It's not good. It's not good for the show. I think YouTube's against it. I think YouTube is against it at all reasonable amounts of time and everything. But tonight I want to talk about Judge Joe Brown, how he is definitely, and show how he's the anatomy of a hater, volume 2. See, Wendy? I use the so I can keep my curse of the day in my pocket. I've been storing them up. Ramid, what's good? What's good, cuzzo? What's going on, cuzzo? How are you, cuzzo? For you. Yeah, but I wanted to talk about Judge Joe Brown. Man, Megyn Kelly went off on Caitlin Clark, and I don't know. It's kind of like reversies. It's like we're living in bizarro world these days. I'm not going to talk about Luigi, because there's really nothing of interest since the last time I talked about Luigi. But, yeah, and I'm going to tell you what is the amazing thing about this show. And the amazing thing about the We episodes with Mo 3 Times Yours Truly. And what's amazing is that I've come to another stage of enlightenment, people. Yo, Will. Oh, hold on. Yo, Will, what happened? What happened, Will? What happened? Did you take that L? Did you take an L from for the birds? Did you? Huh, Commissioner? Caro has a cold, still wearing her talking shit, getting clicks t-shirt, as y'all should. Yeah, like, honestly, I haven't checked sales. I've been busy. I'm sorry, guys. All right, we're good. I'm going to sit a couple through, but let me remind you that we got a store. You know what I mean? I don't know why I did that. We got a store here. We got the shirts, we got the logos, we got the shirts, we got the gear. If you order now, you will definitely not get it in time for Christmas. You won't. So what you're gonna have to do is you're gonna have to print out the receipt or text it as like a digital gift that's coming. Or Martin Luther the King Day's coming up. You know, the Eagles are going to be in a playoff shortly. We're about to do our thing. You want to get some of these street tees, illustrious? I'll have them scroll there. You do that. I got to hawk my stuff. I forget. Guys, I'm so humble. I forget that I am talking shit, getting clicks. More 3 times. Yes, you do. You're not lying. She's not lying. She ain't lying. She's not lying. Nuh-uh. Oh, no. Not Kato. She don't never lie. And you want to know why? Because she said, as you can see, I've to order an Eagles one now. She said it with a little British accent there. That's beautiful. But look at these tasty designs that we have here. We have the Sword Baby Sword shirt. I don't know how to go back now. I don't know, right click. We have the sweatshirt. It comes in different colors, including Kelly. And if you want to go dark, sometimes it matches with the new Tims this year. The Kelly, the forest green. We're going back. But I put Kelly on whatever. You guys want to switch it up? Show your support for the Eagles. That's not necessarily NFL sanctioned. It's more of a street tee. Come see me. TalkingGettingUSA.com. Also, as the beautiful thing of the site is, if you don't know, is it takes you to the show right now, Anatomy of a Hater, that's where we're watching. We're watching Anatomy of a Hater. So you can get to the show from that site, Talk In, Get In, USA. Talk In, Get In, USA. No IN. And don't use an apostrophe. Don't do that. Don't do that, if you get my drift. Yeah. So how's everybody doing this week? Click like, share, subscribe, hit the notification bell, all that good stuff. How are we doing? Let me hear it in the chat. Let me hear it in the chat. Ramid, as soon as I just gotta come see you and drop it off, buddy. It's hanging up in my closet. It's beautiful. It's kind of like this. You got an old school one. It's nice though. It's very nice. Wow, you've prestiged twice in Black Ops. I refuse to prestige. You got to give up all your weapons and everything like that. That's why it's a no for me. I don't got time to go back. I don't even know how I reached level 55 in the first place. I must have been somewhere. Love and hip hop at night, dad by day. Wow. Is that your like your Instagram tag? It's amazing. Love and hip hop at night. What is that supposed to mean? Look at this. I told you, she does not lie. That's comfy. It's comfy. Yup, Ramid backs it up and says, yeah. Yeah, people be staring. They do. I get compliments on my gear anytime I go out the house, which is like never. But at my certain haunts, people always look at it and be like, "Oh, I like that." Blah blah blah. I'll let them know. I'm talking Getting USA. They've gone. A couple have gone out the door. I'm not doing bad, but I think we need to reach phase 2 in marketing on this. Helldivers did get a new downloadable content. It did. We got the Illuminati. I played with it over the weekend, and then they said it was gone. But I played a little bit of Illuminati, and basically the Nates, or whatever they call them. It's like an alien species. In the Heinlein novels, which this game is based off, kind of tight or loose, like a hand tightened. Based off of this, where you see Starship Troopers and everything, where it's based off. In those books, they are fighting another aliens other than arachnids. The bots never show up, but they are, and it seems to be like a intelligent race of beings in this sci-fi novel. Starship Troopers. It starts off with them fighting like the Illuminates or whatever, and they're actually intelligent beings, and they're just fighting the Space Marines. But the cool thing is, in Helldivers, they switched them where they made them zombies, so there's got to be a crazy story behind that, and we like weird stuff because...
Okay? It's in my family.
I'm a geek. I'll be geeking out sometimes. But yeah. Ray J. Oh. There. Look at you, Will. It's so hard, the punchline in the chat. It's so hard. It's so damn hard. Pause. But if you want to call in, 313-825-5557. Only thing I really want to talk about is people that be hating. And actually, I'm more inclined to spread love. Beautiful. Yeah, I'm more inclined to spread love, so I don't really like talking about haters or people that be hating. But JoJo Brown be hating. I've noticed, and I can explain in three phases. Shall I begin? Let me know. You guys let me know if I should go. Or if you want to call in, you have a good two minutes. 2 minutes. I'll let you get. Actually, I'll take it to 7:50. 6 minutes. Give you a couple minutes. I don't want to like bop on you though. You know what I mean? So yeah. Don't LOL. Robert Downey Jr.? Is that what you talking about, Robert Downey Jr.? Wow. Yo, like I predicted, Eagles beat the Steelers. Eagles beat the Steelers. I said, I was like, we gonna kick their ass, man. Told you, buddy at work was like, yo, start Russell. I was like, ugh. I thought about it at first, and I was like, no, there's no way in hell Russ is gonna have a good game. He's gonna have a go home and cry into the bosoms of Ciara type of game, and that's what he did. I call her Ciara. You know what I mean, Ciara. I don't want to sing. But that's what it is. Judge Joe Brown. What else? Yo, while I was putting together the show about Judge Joe Brown, I will say that he hated on somebody that recently passed, late great Nikki Giovanni. She's a poet and activist, really, really involved in the civil rights movement and rights for women and everything like that. And he kind of like, he shredded her. Now, it came up in my feed this week, like a couple days ago, when Nikki passed, when Ms. Giovanni passed. She was married. She had a wife. I believe she did have a son. She died at 81, lung complication, lung cancer, and she'll be missed. But in her death, even in her death, she's still like a servant to the people, as in because it sparked my algorithm to go bananas, and I get Judge Joe Brown, and obviously from previous researches and stuff that I've done for shows throughout, talking shit, getting clicks, we episodes. What actually popped up was Judge Joe Brown going crazy on Nikki Giovanni. I'll play it in a little bit, but it kind of inspired me to come up with the show and put him in as Anatomy of a Hater, because when I saw him talking that shit, he was like a little bit like Candace Owens, who was the first recipient of the Anatomy of a Hater display. The thing is about Judge Joe Brown is that he comes from a very serious, accomplished family. They are heroes in their own right. He has crossed color barriers and done amazing things in his life, even before he got on TV as Judge Joe Brown, as most of us know him as. He served in Memphis and legislature as a lawyer, attorney there, and he ran for office. But he had a pretty good life and a pretty good run, and he is one of our elders. And because he is, like, I still listen to him. And I don't know if it's a cultural thing or anything, though, but I listen to some things. But although that I am claiming him as a hater, because he surely damn is. I'll explain. And you can figure out for yourself, but I'll present my evidence as. But even with that, he still gave gifts because he was still teaching some history and some knowledge. And the history that he's bringing up and the events that he brings up, and a lot of the interviews that I was just looking at him conduct, be interviewed in, he's there at these periods of history where you can Google and be like, oh yeah, this happened at this time where he's saying it, and he's still pretty sharp with his head. And at the same time, he might have a different opinion of that history than I had. Now, would I necessarily give him precedence because he was actually there? You would think one would say yes. You would think one would be like, listen, he was at that meeting. He talked to these people. He did these things. Give me un momento. Let me turn this fan off. This is crazy. I forgot the fan. Things a little dusty. We gotta put a little magic on it. Talk shit, getting clicks like you're saying. Oh, I should give you some techno one when I lift up. But yo, even in Judge Joe Brown's hatery, he still gives some good information to go off of, and his hate actually inspired me to look into things just a little bit more deeplier, if you will. So this evening, I usually save stuff like this, like the title headline to the end. I'm not playing with you guys. You've already been here for 20 minutes with my shenanigans and everything like that, just getting acquainted, saying hello and everything like that. But I would like to just get right into it of why I believe that Judge Joe Brown is an effing hater. Okay? And my first inkling about Joe Brown being an effing hater would just be he's an effing hater. So, you know that we spoke about Kamala Harris, and he came up as a subject when he was saying that he was one of the people saying that Kamala Harris wasn't black, and he's trying to go through her lineage and basically berate her in these podcasts and everything like that. I would like to go back and just remind. Let's revisit real quick. Let me show it. Pull it up, play it.
I'm gonna hurt somebody's feelings, but we got a witch running for president. That woman is the worst kind of sleaze you can ever think of. I was in California when it was going down. And I used to represent 40 years ago a whole chunk of pimps and hoes in Memphis. And I know a hoe when I see one. And when I see a hoe, I know she got a pimp. And I want to find out who the pimps are that we getting tricked out on the benefit of. Who are the pimps that this woman is working for? And I see some decent ladies out there. I've met a few of you. And I resent the fact that you got a hoe that's being your face. You see,
you know what, ladies and gentlemen, it's live, but regard me.
God is good.
God is good. Amen.
No.
No.
I thought you were going to say God is great.
God is great.
you see, tomorrow is yes in your face. And I resent ladies out there. I've met them. And I see the pimps that this fit of. Who are the pimps that this woman is working for?
Oh, shit.
I want to find out who the pimps are that we getting tricked.
Oh, my God.
And I know a hoe when I...
There it is. I know a hoe when I see one. Ladies and gentlemen, in real time, I will make a button because, damn, he's a poet. Hold on. Let's do it. I'm going to go here. That's my love button. All right. Right here. Let's go.
And I know a hoe when I see one.
Oh, perfect.
And when I...
Perfect. Hold on. Let's run it back.
And I know a hoe when I see one.
Oh, yo, I did it in one shot. I did that in one shot.
And I know a hoe when I see one.
That's what I do, guys. Ladies and gentlemen. You should know.
And I know a hoe when I see one.
Ladies and gentlemen, yeah. He was, the hoe he was talking about was Kamala Harris. You know? So that's kind of some spicy ass rhetoric right there. Very, very spicy.
Be careful, though. It's spicy.
Very, very spicy, Judge Joe Brown. And listen, my thing is that you can tell the truth. You can tell the whole damn truth, and you can still be a hater. You can. Somebody told me once, I don't know, somebody wise though, I would imagine, as I recall on this information. The information was that sometimes it's not what you say. Anybody in the chat can... I think it's how you say it. And he says stuff like a hater. Like a hater. Like a effing hater. It's not good for anyone. No, not good. Give me a second. Let me click around here. I don't want to go through all of his
I'm
Good
gonna
stuff.
hurt somebody's
Oh
feelings,
yeah.
but we got.
That's him. I'm gonna hurt somebody's feelings. Yo, do y'all remember the time he was like F Harriet Tubman for going on money? They were supposed to be putting Harriet Tubman on some money, and he hated on her and said like black men needed to be on it. Well, I found the interview that he did it, and I'll throw a link. It was on the Art of Dialogue, I believe, where he talks about it. And he did about an hour interview, and it was interesting. He talked about history through the lens of his hating ass self.
I can't control it.
It's true.
Okay? It's in my.
It's true. Like, and that's what he did. So when I listen to him, I do accept, that wisdom and the fact that he was there at a lot of these events, specifically when we're pertaining to civil rights and meeting civil rights activists that we celebrate today. But he still has I don't know, George Esquire. Just George Schuler, if you will, Judge Esquire point of view. If you don't know who that is, Google. So we got him talking about Harriet Tubman. We just heard him talk about Kamala. He's kind of out of control. He is very, very, very insanely out of control. And I don't mean to throw all the varies in there, but I must, just so you can understand where I'm coming from with this. And, like, ultimately, I think, when he commented on Harriet Tubman being a bill, he was bringing up a larger issue of how society did that as a way to emasculate black men. And it got me thinking, it kind of went into that red pill black man versus black woman. Or if you're looking at society's social media from a whole standpoint, everybody's been on that man woman tip because a lot of people tune into it and it sells and it gets some money and money is the bottom line for some people, even though I think that all money is not good money. Makes you wonder about his mama, about oh man, Judge Joe Brown drinks. Oh, who's in the house, right? I don't think you guys know.
What's up, people? Here we are back in the talking shit, getting clicks.
Groovy.
But yeah, all right. So that's him going off with Kamala. I told you guys about the Harriet Tubman. But one of the cool things he does bring up is because he talks about when they were making the movie Harriet Tubman. He reminded me of that there was the director. He said it so fast I went to fact check because I was like, I know the director didn't say that. Director is a black dude, the same guy who did what's the movie with Denzel? Remember the Titans. He did Remember the Titans. He also did the movie Harriet. And Harriet stars Cynthia Erivo, who stars in Wicked right now. She plays Harriet Tubman. And when he was doing an interview, I think with, whatever Hollywood magazine. And in the interview, he was saying that, hey, I've been trying to get this Harriet Tubman movie greenlit in Hollywood since like the 90s. And it's amazing that, it's finally coming to pass. And I've always envisioned of doing Harriet Tubman like an action movie to show like all the action and the intensity that went into her escaping for her freedom, and not only doing that, but returning several times over to help other people that were enslaved escape that enslavement and run to freedom in the North. Is that my auntie? Is my auntie up in here? Don't tell me my auntie's up in here. Don't tell me my auntie's up in here. What sound is this?
Me while in Florida.
Right? So he said he was trying to get the movie made. He said he wanted to tell a story, but he wanted to do it in an action type of way. Which Harriet, if you watch Harriet, I got it on not on Netflix, on Amazon Prime. It was pretty much actiony, and she threw in. Look at, oh my God, ladies and gentlemen, we are lucky to have amongst us
Your Comedy Minute Quickie.
Scotty T, none other than himself. And I'm Sherry. Let the children sing. Let the child.
I can't control.
I feel complete now. I feel so complete. All right, I gotta stop. Yo, but yeah. So, like he said, he made the movie. He wanted to move. That was his vision of making the movie. He wanted to make that movie, and in turn, is going to bring like awareness to study the history or whatever. But he's also said, as an antidote, I will never stop Scotty T. Like he also said, as an antidote, that one of the producers had actually said that, yo, like we can cast Julia Roberts as Harriet Tubman. And his reasoning behind it was that it happened so long ago, people wouldn't remember. Amazing, right? But that is something that hating ass Judge Joe Brown brought up. So, you know, you get the good, you get the bad, you get the bad, you make good out of it. You understand what I'm saying? You get a little bad, you make some good out of it. Get some lemons. You make some lemonade. Life hands you the sour. You mix it with a clear liqueur. Maybe a little simple syrup. And those bitters will turn into one of your favorite refreshing drinks in the world. We know this. You know that. I know this. How do we not know this? Let children say. Crowd clap for me. Where you been, Scotty? Yes, definitely. Number one in the power rankings. Who, Judge Joe Brown? He was married. He's divorced. I don't think he's married right now, or I don't think he's involved with anybody right now. He's got some health issues, so he's kind of focusing on that. But he's a hater. He's a hater. But hold on. Out of when he talks about Nikki Giovanni, this is what he says. And like I'm saying, I'm staying on that theme. When we take the negative, we make the positive out of it. Even with hating ass information, you can make something good out of it. You can recycle it into something that needs to be made, for lack of a better, as I stall to find this screen. But this is something that also came across my screen. So now, listen to me. I have to recap. Nikki Giovanni, American poet, activist, educator, host, interviewer, lady with many hats, dies at 81. As a result of her death, the algorithm triggers all of the negativity that's been said about her over the years. And it started with Judge Joe Brown a little bit over a year ago, talking about Nikki Giovanni. And one of his speeches reached another content creator, and he decided to share his thoughts using the words of Judge Joe Brown as an example to prove his position. Let's take a look at it.
Do you want to know why some of our fathers haven't been in the household in the last 50 years? Watch this clip.
But he really breaks down how basically men have just given up.
No, they haven't given up.
Go ahead.
They've been taught.
They've been taught to.
Because you see, you had people like poetress Nikki Giovanni going around in the late 60s saying the worst thing you could do is have a father in a child's life. the best thing was to get pregnant. Don't tell the SOB he was the daddy. You can do better on your own. She had
really
problems.
saying that?
We cussed her out at a BSU meeting at UCLA 1968 for saying that in front of 10,000 people.
So, Judge Joe Brown says he cursed her out at a BSU, and if you're wondering what BSU means, I would believe it stands for Black Student Union. On colleges, like some of the black kids get together, like all these kids get together, and they form their little groups, so if they have any issues going on campus, they can have those issues heard. You know, everybody has their little groups to go to the dean and complain on college. And one of those groups that are traditionally known on many campuses throughout the United States of America and maybe the world is the BSU, also known as the Black Student Union. When I was at Rider, I went to a couple of meetings, and they would have like dances, and they would have people come in and speak, and they would have like little classes and everything. And it was pretty cool. It was pretty cool. You get to network and mingle and meet people and talk about culture and things that shape the culture and have a little think tank-ish like type of vibe to it. It was pretty cool. It was pretty cool. Now, but back in the days, what Joe Brown was talking about was that Nikki Giovanni would be considered by mainstream media as like a radical feminist black revolutionary. I mean, let me know. I know I got pops, I got moms in here. You guys are out and about. You were younger than Nikki. But like, is that how you perceived her to be? Or call in and let me know how you actually perceived her to be. Rest in peace, Nikki Giovanni. 313-825-5557. And guess what? I know it's just a one-man shop right here, but I got my eyes on the cost. So what's his problem? So, thank you for keeping me on track, Flashback. Thank you. The issue is that the main theme is taking this negativity and making something positive out of it. Tormentors in the building. And we're going to take this negativity and turn it into a positive. So because of this information, this man, I don't know. I don't even want to repeat that. It might be something dangerous. But this gentleman right here posted on his Instagram, he posted a reel with the comments made about Nikki Giovanni from Judge Joe Brown. And obviously, he felt the need to share that with us, and he had to share that opinion with us. But my whole thing was, is that really the opinion of Nikki Giovanni? I know who I got on the line. Is this main line?
Yes, sir.
I knew I was going to...
Yes, sir.
I know you're not bringing Django over here.
I want the beeper.
Oh, here.
You want to listen?
Sorry about that. All right. I'm hitting buttons. Django, get out of here. I'm doing my show. He goes sit in his seat. He sits in his seat. All right, Django, lay down. You can.
Django got to have his time.
He's got to have his time. He's had his time, though. He's out of control. And I messed this button up, so this button won't stop. It just keeps repeating. All right, we're settled now. Mainline is on the line with us, as always. Mainline, let's hear your, what do you think about this?
Yeah, well, most of the time I just had to dial in, and before I say anything, I want you and our listeners to understand that I don't hate. I just try to educate. Okay.
I knew when you called. I knew that you were going to have let's do it.
Yeah. So, but in briefly regarding, let me say with Judge Joe Brown, he's what I classify as being a frustrated intellectual. To the point where he did all of the right things with the as far as education and intellectual pursuits. Taking a stance on caring for people, and he did all of the right things, and still came up empty. With the progress that he foresaw that all of his energies and actions would take. So he's frustrated from that point of view, and he has the right to have the opinions that he do, because not only was lived through that time, was a part of that time of the so-called civil rights struggle, et cetera, et cetera. So I just look at him as being intellectual frustration. That's what he deal with. Now regarding Nikki Giovanni, her whole thing is that not only her, there was Sonia Sanchez, there was Angela Davis, and then you had they were all doing the Black Panther movement. Mamu Baraka, whose son is the mayor in Newark, New Jersey right now. Yep. But the thing is that they were all part of the communist socialist movement during that time, and they were funded and sponsored on college campuses by the enemy, Caucasian people. That's a fact. They even would come to high schools. I was in high school at the time, and they even had people that they would send to high schools trying to solicit people into having, that same type of social radical, et cetera. But when it all boiled down to what it was really about, it was about the so-called feminism. And I can think of another word for that, but I won't. But
by all means, go for it. Go for it.
No, not at all. But the thing is their purpose was to fill a void and keep our minds focused on something that wasn't to be.
Go into that more about the void. Can you go into the void?
Well, yeah, but the whole thing that I wanted to say about Nikki Giovanni and the Panthers and all of those type of people, they gave the impression that they were there for the social and upliftment, but they were being sponsored by people who had no intentions of just social justice or upliftment of our people. And the proof positive of that is that when Mr. Big decided that that period was over, all of the communists and socialists, they all went to Cuba, including Nikki Giovanni, Sonia Sanchez, all of the Panthers. They all went to Cuba. And the thing that when I was a young man and I was a sophomore in high school, the thing that pissed me off is that all of the rhetoric that they were spewing was from Mao Zedong. And they all carried around that Mao Zedong's book, the Little Red Book. They all carried it on their person. So that was their Bible. So they was actually, spewing this communist socialist ideology, throughout the land. Now, to just shortly say this, I said that Judge Brown was a frustrated intellectual. The people on the other side of the fence, the Nikki Giovanni group, those type of people, they weren't frustrated, but they knew that they were supposed to be the opposition of the things that Judge Brown stood for. So you got to have two sides to have a battle. You got to have that controversy going to have the battle. But the bottom line is they were both being sponsored by Mr. Big, and so we continue again, even today, we continue to get bamboozled because nobody sees the man behind the curtain. and nobody understands what his power, the power that he has, and the ramifications of his power. That's always directed at people that we can see personally. And so that's and I'm just trying to be sure, and that's basically where it's at. So so when I hear the things that Judge Brown say now, he's saying them out of frustration because he can now see the game. He's not no young man. When he was young, he really thought that he could change things and make things happen. But he realized that he was just a pawn, just like all of the other so-called revolutionary leaders were. They were just pawns in the game. And so now, at his age, he don't have nothing to lose. So the frustration has to come out because he knows the truth. And when he tell, if you listen to when he tells the truth, that's what makes you listen, because he's telling the truth. But the time for that truth to be effective has already passed. You understand what I'm saying? The time is gone by. So you can't, when you hear the truth about something that happened 20 years ago, they ain't gonna do you no good.
I mean, I think when he was saying it at that time, when what he was saying at that time, it was already too late for what he was saying.
Yeah.
But I do have a couple, like a flip side thing to that. Like, a beautiful thing that we're talking about is that we're taking these negativities and we're turning them into positives. So, like, when you speak of, that man behind the curtain, that these people are being financed by, the man, if you will, like, we still have to, you can still take the man's food. You can still take that man's ammunition and you can use it to better yourself and or fight a better battle. And when you say that, what comes to mind is I don't know, what's the Richard Wright poem? I too am America. They make me sit here and while they eat at their table, but don't worry, when they're gone, I sit at the table and I eat and I get stronger because one day I am going to be sitting at that table. And then also when we're talking about like the revolutionaries, and we could go into their political ideologies. We all know there's fallacies with all of them, but like they came up with stuff. They came for all that rhetoric. They came up with free food programs, breakfast school programs that we're using today. In America nationwide, free health clinics, developmental centers for kids, food pantries, pest control, bus routes from prison, like legal aid, transportation assistance. Yeah. They came up with a lot of things. So I don't think that it was just necessarily talk or anything like that. But I do also understand your point that when there's always going to be, when you say that battle, and it's going to be a battle between those two sides, those two different ideologies. And I don't know, like to me, the whole battle was supposed to be, us as black people coming together and us as humans in specific circumstances coming together to overthrow the powers that be. That's just what I always thought it was.
Technically what you say, it makes sense, and technically what you say, that was supposed to be the party. Be the end of the party, and that's what all the rhetoric was all about. But in reality, it was just something to keep us mentally stagnated and keep us in a holding pattern, and that's what it did. And the proof positive of it is that after all of the Panthers and the so-called revolutionaries, Stokely Carmichael, all them type of cats, they all went to Cuba. After Mr. Biggs said, "Okay, the game is over," because he was the one that was the one that was sponsoring the food programs. You understand? Yeah. He was the one that was sponsoring all of the medical things. Now, one other thing, let me say this, and you may not be ready for this. And not only was that, he was responsible for the Panthers and those type of people. He was the one that made sure that the drugs came in the neighborhood.
And that was the last part I was going to talk about. So, that's what happened. That's definitely what happened.
Yeah. So now
drugs did come into their neighborhood.
So what I wanted to finish on, but what I wanted to finish on is that after they was all act like they were act like they were being exiled from the country, they all came back in Chicago, Los Angeles, New York, and New Jersey, and they all came back, and the very thing that they said that they opposed, which was the political system, the very thing that they fought against, injustice against, every one of them melted right into that system and continued to act like nothing ever happened over those 20 years before that before this thing happened, and that's mind-boggling in itself, you know. And so the band plays on. That's all I can say. But I wouldn't. You know, again, like I said, I don't hate. I'm just trying to educate. You know, from my point of view, and you know that you know the theory of turning lemon into lemonade. That sure is good, but you know, if you don't put no sugar with it, baby,
Oh yeah,
it ain't gonna taste sweet.
Yeah, I mean, I was saying lemonade into lemon. I was gonna make it margaritas anyway. We don't use sugar for that. You know what I mean?
Hey, whatever works.
But
man.
Mainline, once again, I'm happy that you called in and shared your point of view with us. Stick around. All right.
Well,
I know you're on the phone. I'm about to.
Yeah, but I'm gonna listen. I'm gonna. Yeah. I'm gonna listen. I got some things. I'm doing, but I need to get back to them.
Gotcha.
But I just had to take the time because I thought that again, I thought that a different point of view, would just stir up the conversation.
I love it.
Yeah, but it's interesting nonetheless, and I'll be listening in.
I love it.
But I'm okay. And thank you. I appreciate it always for the time. And thank you.
I love it. I love that point of view. Like he doesn't. Yeah, I get it. There's no hate here. He's just going from his perspective, and they did. They left and went to Cuba, and then will come back. And Nikki Giovanni spent her time teaching at Virginia Tech. I believe. What's I can say? Who went to? Asada is still in Cuba, but she's facing some serious charges from a prison escape. But I read the Asada book; it's amazing. One of the things that I do talk about with about Nikki Giovanni, and something that Sherry Ford says. Sherry Ford says black men not stepping up has nothing to do with Nikki Giovanni. Boo on Sherry. I'm going to tell you why boo on Sherry, and this is why I disagree. Because I don't believe it was a part of black men not stepping up. One of the other things that led me is, during her death, they've played on social media, it's been making the rounds for at least the last 18 months that I've seen it. Nikki Giovanni and James Baldwin are having a conversation. Oh man, but let me go off on a mission when I say this. What I've noticed in doing this research, even before this show, I've noticed that there were a lot of shows that had like discussions, like conversational debates. I got you. I've met Sonia. She's from Philly. And that's what I'm talking about. The first, and Flashback brings up, the first time I heard about her poetry was a show called Soul back in the 70s. Now, Sherry, I don't totally disagree with you. I don't totally disagree with Mainline, but just let me give you my point of view. I'll set it up. It's going to probably take me forever to do this. All right, so and Flashback brings it up. What I noticed is that there was a lot of television in the late 60s, early 70s, maybe and up into the 80s, because I posted some a while back ago of these conversations that we just don't necessarily see today anymore. That I haven't seen any type of conversations since I don't know, Tavis Smiley you went out in like the late '90s or whatever. But I would like to see some of these shows come back and some of these conversations to come back. And when Flashback talked about the first time I heard her poetry was a show called Soul back in the 1970s. It was on that same Soul show Soul back in 70, I believe 71, that her and James Baldwin sat down for a conversation. And in this conversation, she's like 28 years old. She talks of her son Thomas, so she's already had her son Thomas, and they are having a conversation now. In this conversation, you guys may have seen on social media, she's talking about. Let me see if I can find it real quick. Sometimes I'm good at this. Let me take it to YouTube. It'll make it a better.
James Baldwin and Nikki Giovanni.
That's how it sounded back in the day. Yeah, man, let me copy the link right now before I forget. Guys, don't go to this link yet, but afterwards, when all of this is done, come back and check this link out and look at this interview. I mean, it is, it's like 2 hours long. But the way they flow and the way that they're talking, and it's actually beautiful, something beautiful to watch. I like how the cameraman goes. He must have been on a little, he had a tab of acid or something like that, because the cameraman was going in. Still, in this conversation on Soul, Nikki Giovanni, here's the most replayed. I think this should be the part.
We can never abandon it.
Oh, maybe not.
I don't think that's a question, because where else are we going to go? I mean, nobody else wants us.
Oh, no.
If I know see a future.
If I know what I'm demanding of you, in some sense, makes sense. If I know the fact the kid is not eating today or tonight or tomorrow, in some way makes sense. Yeah, then I can be there. But if it doesn't make any sense, and if I don't see anything coming out of it at all,
will he eat if you're not there?
If you're on welfare, he won't eat if I am there. That's the law. But I don't want to get bogged down into that. No. What I really mean is that, yes, a man can do that if he sees a way, if he sees that it means something. My father couldn't see that. And he was quite right, because there wasn't anything.
There's something, because all I know that works in the world is a relationship.
Yes, all right.
Okay, that's all that's going to work. It takes two people to have a relationship.
Yeah, but the relationship.
If you don't have a dream, fake it.
But the relationship, you can't fake a dream.
You got to fake it, because we don't have dreams these days. How the hell can you have a dream? For what?
Well, it isn't.
So everybody's jiving, but let's jive on that level.
If I love you, I can't lie to you.
Of course you can lie to me, and you will. If you love me and you're going off with Maddie someplace, you're lying to me. Because what the hell do I care about the truth? I care if you're there. What Billie Holiday say, hush now, don't explain.
All right, I accept that.
Of course you'll lie to me, because I don't even want to care. What does the truth matter? And why are you going to be truthful with me when you lie to everybody else? You lied when you smiled at that cracker down the job, right? Lie to me, smile. Treat me the same way you would treat him.
I can't treat you the way I treat him.
You must. Because I've caught the frowns and the anger. He's happy with you. Of course he doesn't know you're unhappy. You grin at him all day long. You come home and I catch hell. Because I love you, I get least of you. I get the very minimum. And I'm saying, fake it with me. Is that too much of the black woman to ask of the black man? For 10 years, so that we can get a child on his feet that says, yeah, father smiled at mother. He talked to me about school today. Who cares that you can read or can't read? Most Americans can't read. Most people can't read. They look at the pictures.
Baby, I know what you're saying.
The face he made, and this is one of the clips that are going through social media. So people young and old are being able to experience at least just like a portion of this conversation. And it's a shame that a lot of times what happens is we just leave it here at this little minute clip of what they're talking about, and then we don't take the time to go back there and look at it. Because honestly, and this is where you come in, Sherry. She's not saying that it wasn't black men not stepping up. The conversation that they're having is about the society that they are in 1970 earlies. in 1971 from the late 60s and from their experiences been on Earth. But at this time, it looks like James Baldwin is probably in his late 30s because he died at like 48 or something like that, right? Maybe a little older. And then, and I believe Nikki Giovanni is about 28 years old in this conversation. And what she is saying is that, and they're both agreeing that, hey, listen, there's a burden right here. We can tell by these, statistics and unemployment numbers and what we see in the news and what we see with our own eyes that these black men are not getting a fair shot. And what she was saying is, and it's not with this specific conversation of lie to me because I think it's really controversial. I think that's why it's a real, but it's pretty simple. Pretty simple. I'll discuss it in a second. But what she also says in the conversation is that, hey, listen, I understand that as a black woman that we're actually getting a chance here in society to step up. And we do understand that you as a black man aren't getting those same chances. And we do understand, like Judge Joe Brown said, that, hey, they're trying to emasculate a black man because they're putting Harriet Tubman up here. But I have to say, in these times, you need to make this, the lemonade out of these lemons. You need to, even though you're not respected at this table, when you get a chance to eat at this table and sit here and grow strong so one day you can sit here at the head of the table. And she was saying specifically that, hey, us as women at this day and time in 1971 understand the plight of our brothers. And we understand that you're going to have an ego because you understand the commerce and the culture of United States of America. As a man being a man, you got to work, you got to earn your keep, and you got to keep your bootstraps pulled up. And it's really unfair that we see that what they're trying to do to you in society. But guess what? Stay with us. We'll do this, and we'll figure a way out of this. We're going to try to make lemonade out of these lemons that are thrown at us. We're going to make some lemon pound cake or lemon sorbet or lemon whatever the hell you like. I love a lemon tart. I'm not going to lie. I love a lemon tart. Y'all killing me with this. But we're going to make lemons out of lemonade. And for her, what she was saying was that the black men were not going to accept that program at all. And listen, hindsight is not 2020. What people say, hindsight is not 2020. But we could just guess that, hey, maybe if her way of going about it kind of prevailed, like maybe if her way prevailed and it was actually, all right, we got a man in the house. We're getting our money, we're progressing in life, and we're going to help and bring him up and make sure he starts his own little business or whatever, or make sure when it's time he can get to school and we can have all this. If we could just switch this up for just a second, we can fast forward a long way. And I think that maybe that's what you meant. Well, I didn't think that's what you meant when you said that black men were failing, but if there was a failure in that way, it would have been that cooperation. But then at the same time, me and being the man, I understand how it is. It's a natural thing. Like women have little natural urges to do things in their womanhood. Men have a natural thing to do in their manhood. And most men, I'm not going to do the most real man thing, but most men want to work, they want to provide, and they want to be, and they believe that being the head of the household means that you are providing. And providing is protection, and that's what it is. And that's what it is. But oh man, and I would just have to imagine that we were in some trippy times in those late 60s, early 70s, and we're raising new consciousness that if there was any time that could have worked, it would have been back then. Nikki Giovanni ended up, she died at 81 of lung cancer. She's survived by her wife and her son. And James Baldwin died way earlier. I don't usually try to look at people through the scope of death. I don't try to do that. But yeah, he died in 1987, 3 years old, and he was in France. So James Baldwin was one of the ones that went to France, and he wrote about race, He wrote about society. He wrote about love. He was working on a manuscript for the Malcolm X movie. They actually, in researching this and not just seeing this you guys got the link, not only just watching that Soul video, that led me to other videos that I have seen before, but reminded me that there's a Malcolm X, James Baldwin, George, I said his name before, George Esquire, like Schuyler, and they pronounce it Esquire, C. Eric Lincoln. They all had this round table discussion, and they were discussing civil rights, and they were discussing Black Muslims in America, and it is a very good conversation. Malcolm X and James Baldwin were really good friends. Matter of fact, James Baldwin and Nikki Giovanni became good friends. Maybe 2 years later, they had a book together. I believe it was called Dialogues. They made a book. Yeah, they came together like peanut butter and yogurt and made this book called Dialogues. I am actually right now. Let me catch up. Where's my phone? It's on the ground. Right now, let me give you the title of the book. On Audible, I can't, and I shouldn't have. I should have got this in paper. This is one of those readers, but I just got a book from their conversation. Nikki Giovanni said she liked a book by James Baldwin called "Tell Me How Long the Train's Been Gone." And I picked it up on Audible. It's like 14 hours, so it's one of those longer pieces, and I am going to be starting that this evening. Pretty great book. Strike your last statement. Holding down the family. And I agree, but yeah, Auntie, you know, that man thing. So I would say, but the thing is, nowadays, and I want to go because it becomes like a red pill thing. But nowadays, it's just like, all right, I can hold this down. I'm going to do this, whatever. It's not even, you need to be in the household or anything like that. But I say that Judge Joe Brown, born in Washington, D.C., raised in California, grows up in California, and ends up with a Bull Connor accent towards the end of his life is, I don't know. That's just me on the outside looking more outside. But I just think that maybe that's what it is. Maybe Mainline's right, and it's a talented intellectual who didn't always agree with what was going on in the world, and he's just frustrated. He did a show. He went to Hollywood, and like Hollywood kind of screwed him over there because he had some choice words for the Hollywoods. But that might be it. He might not have been able to come to the realization that sometimes you got to take those lemons and make lemonade. And as a result, you get cranky as fuck, and you end up being on a show called Anatomy of a Hater, Volume 2. That's what that is. It's 8:36. We can call you guys. I got more spit. You guys want it? Let me know. Somebody call in. Let me know. I'm going to give you a little time now. I'll throw the techno on. Check it out. You already know. Cloud clapping, talking shit, getting clicks. We episodes. We live. More 3 times. There ain't no we without you. Just take a little break real quick. I need some waters.
What's up, people? Here we are back in the talking shit, getting clicks.
And I know a hoe when I see one.
Yeah. Yeah. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I got to call in. You don't have to type so much. 313-825-5557. Kick it with me. More 3 times. You raised my blood pressure, Joe Brown. Stop it. Stop it. For what it's worth, I like the mindset. Seriously, you gotta have that positive mindset. I mean, because this world is crazy. You gotta keep your mind right. You know, I gotta get back on my Peloton. Once, twice a week is not enough. I need at least 3 times, and I must meditate every day. It's crazy out here. We got drones, we got aliens, we got craziness. Too big to rig. Harris isn't smart enough. Yay! I don't know. Do you gotta be smart to rig something? I don't know. We'll find. I'm sure we got enough time. We'll find Elon Musk did some fuckery. Oh, hold on. Do we have other news? Of course. What is that? Is that a squirrel? I like it. Is that squirrel alive in that picture? I hope so. But we do have a caller line. You can let me know. 313-825-5557. All are welcome. Judge Joe Brown is a smart, honorable man. Yeah, he is. He's smart. I don't know about the honorable. I mean, if you heard the playback that I was talking, he's calling hoes and hoes and hoes. Honorable men don't have to speak like that, guys. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna sit here and say that I've always been honorable, but honorable men don't speak like that. You know, if you're smart, then you can use your words and convey your message without being a piece of shit. I'm not smart. But that's what it is.
And I know a hoe when I see one.
I do. And with that, like, share, subscribe. Let me know. Phone lines are open. What have you guys been up to? Chat, talk to me. What you want to talk about? What's been going on? How you feel about Aaron Rodgers? With Judge Joe Brown. You know what he did say in the speech, though? I was going to tie it in,
running for president.
If we're going to go there.
That woman is the worst kind of sleaze you can ever think of. I was in California when it was going down. And I used to represent 40 years ago a whole chunk of pimps and hoes in Memphis. And I know a hoe when I see one. And when I see a hoe, I know she got a pimp. And I want to find out who the pimps are that we getting tricked out on the benefit of. Who are the pimps that this woman is working for? And I see some decent ladies out there. I've met a few of you.
Look at him.
And I resent the fact that you got a hoe that's being your face.
He resents it.
You see, tomorrow is yesterday, today, so today.
Oh. It's the age we live in. He must be talking about... I saw this video he's talking about. It's crazy. Oh, let's check it out.
So the future today will be as the past today as it is tomorrow. Today is today. And yesterday was today yesterday. Tomorrow will be today tomorrow.
Yo, that's crazy. That's fake also, just so you know. That's a fake video.
I can't control
it.
Okay?
The AI and these MFs crazy out here. The thing is also, Judge Joe Brown can't control that also and have a little bit of discernment that he's looking at some bullcrap and using it as a ploy for political reasons. But hey, we're all not perfect.
Was yesterday.
We're not perfect. But when you say shit like that loud and proud and you're wrong, you should come back and, get it right. Exactly. It's an edit. It's an edit. It's an edit that they ran. They ran through the campaign season, and people thought it was real. People thought it was a little. People thought it was real. Nikki Giovanni said, "Hey, people can barely read." That's 71, and that's true today. The reading comprehension level is.
I'm gonna hurt somebody's feelings, but
it's down. It is down. You know, but that's why I have my show. I have a show. It's called We Episodes. And I like to, break stuff down and research stuff and tell you that, hey, presidents don't control food prices. But I like to tell you that months before election. I mean, if it matters, if we're really running on food prices, which I doubt, I don't think it was about food prices. It wasn't about the price of eggs, just in my opinion. But yeah. Donald Trump actually backtracked on that. Remember when he sat out Mar-a-Lago and he had the groceries out? He made a big show of it. He made a huge show of the food out in front of Mar-a-Lago, and then we find out that, oh hell, he can't do anything about that. But I told you so. I did. I told you. I sat here and told you. Now, I know a lot of people that watch the show, they listen, they be like, yeah, we know they can't control it. But there's mad people out there. I gotta call her, though. I gotta call her. Call her, please take over, because... I don't know how long I can make this lemonade. My forearms are effing tired from squeezing. Hello?
I have to take a deep breath. Y'all don't ram my blood pressure. But I try to be. Here we are back in talking shit, getting clicked.
Ladies and gentlemen, I give it to you. Well, he gives to us of himself. Flashback. Let the children sing. I'm muting myself.
Just listening to this conversation today, and also for the fact that we're talking about a woman that is dead, and to just a response from Joe Brown for the legacy of this sister.
Hold on. Let me stop you there. To be clear, Joe Brown said this before she passed. She was still alive when he said this. And I was explaining that it came up in the algorithm.
I know this. I've been keeping up on that part. My whole thing, even to the point that I say, I know this is about Joe Brown. So if it was about Joe Brown instead of about Nikki Giovanni, I'd say under both of the subject, if anything, only thing that I haven't heard tonight for the comparison with Joe Brown, as far as her legacy and her life, is that we can't find anything beneficial to say positive about the dead. I was always taught that if a person is dead, if you can't say nothing good or show anything good, positive about them, then stay silent. One thing I can say as far as if this thing is about Joe Brown being a hater, the sad part that I can say, and even to reading some of the chat and listen to Sister Sherry and her comment when we're talking about the black man. Sad for me is that when I look at the history and coming up from the time of the 60s and the 70s, the black man was just getting over the part of his life of respect, dignity, and honor, especially for the black woman, because we were still just getting over the mental effects, the anger, the hatred for the fact that if we're going to dig back in our history and know what it meant for us as far as Black Americans, that when it came to our women, where we had to watch them get raped, where we watched them get created porn over our women, making us have sex in front of our masters, when we seen how they degrade and the fact that when it came to us as a man and a black man, that we couldn't even protect our mother, our sisters, and our daughters. And then we come to this day in time, and I come up in a time even from the things that Malcolm X and Farrakhan and Islam taught us and brought us out of that shame and that hatred and that lack of disrespect for us and our black women and sisters, was the fact to be able to defend them now, to be able to protect them now, to be able to provide for them now. And the sad part I see, even for the night, even for George Brown or Joe Brown, even when Brother Mainline was talking about Mr. Big. Mr. Big is so bad to show his power at 2024. He still disrespected our women in front of our face. He called them dumb. He called us stupid. He called us ignorant. And we sit there as black men and laugh at it. Then we see brothers like Joe Brown that marries a white woman that could make a marriage last. And the only thing he could find in his selfishness is to say negative things about the black woman. So my point of listening to this tonight and seeing where we headed for 2025, I said again, I can understand why our black women, and we're talking about them getting married to the white man. We're talking about them getting educated and being in charge, even to our government. And we sit back and accept it. So my thing is, I just was looking at TMZ the other day, and I was watching the story about my man, forgive me for getting his name, that got hit in the glass. You probably know he got hit in the mouth with the glass at a restaurant that had a...
Jamie Foxx.
Jamie Foxx, thank you. Just going back and seeing that and finding out the reason why he got hit in the face with a glass is because they said the crew from the show Jackass that I was listening to, my son's podcast the other night, when they said that while he was enjoying a dinner with his family, they had the audacity in the so-called five-star restaurant to shine a laser down upon his table with the image of a penis. And the thing that took me back...
image of a what?
Tonight,
hold on, an image of a what?
A laser of a...
I just wanted to do the beep. I heard you.
on the tape.
Yeah. And then they got into it, and he hit him in that glass, and it was on his man's birthday. But you're going to equate the disrespect.
Okay, so here's my point. While the things that I'm seeing now, and my flashback to the history of where we come from, I see where 2025 and everything that's taking place in America, and where we even talking about the project and the mega and the division of this country. I'm sitting back having flashback when my brother told me how when the Veterans Stadium, when they would go to the games and the white folks would throw ketchup and mustard down on their heads. I know when I personally used to go to the movies when we so-called being integrated, and they would throw popcorn at us and hit us in the back of the heads. So my sadness today and my anger, especially seeing what is still happening, is begin to happen again. We as Black men, not the women, but we as Black men is turning our backs. We're the ones sitting back accepting the things that's happening to our women and our people. And only thing I hear when it comes to Black women from Big Giovanni, you could say Whoopi Goldberg, Beyonce, the female rappers, all the way to the vice president of the United States. We are the ones that's beginning to disrespect our own women. We are the ones that's sitting here feeding Mr. Big the negatives that they accept about us now and broadcast. And the last thing I'd like to say on that tip is that we, coming into 2025, I hope that we can find ourselves as a people that I put on the chat. We as Black men grew up just like the symbol of the bee. And the bee, if you remember, the whole colony is what? They honored the queen bee, not the king, but the queen bee.
Now, sir, you're getting into some Illuminati talk.
And the Black people.
That's what you're doing.
As black men and Black people, that's how we always honor our women. And that's the difference. And I just hope from this conversation that we could speak out and make a difference and think twice before we start speaking negative about our own mothers, our own sisters, our own nieces, our own wives, etc. And after this, bless you. Hope you have a Merry Christmas and a blessed New Year, because it's hitting us. And I'm not seeing any change. It's going backwards. Peace.
Amazing. Ladies and gentlemen, that was Flashback with some thoughts.
What's up, people? Here we are back in the talking shit, getting clicks.
I like what you said. I understood where you were coming from. But I have to make this lemonade, guys. Flashback is right. Kendrick Lamar is right. We're not supposed to let anybody disrespect our women. No other group does that. And by far, really, we don't do that. That isn't us. We really don't disrespect our women. There are far and few between. We can equate the Judge Joe Browns, the George Schulers, the Thomas Sowells, the Candace Owenses, the Ice and Spices, or whatever, not Ice Spice, but the ladies, the two Black ladies for Trump. We can talk about a whole train of Black people that were allow themselves to be co-opted, to be used as tools to denigrate the African American, Black American community. There's a long line of them. But I like to just remind I like to remind us at the end of the day that we saw the polls. We saw the numbers. There was a lot of talk about Black men and going over to the side of what some would consider white superiority. But I didn't see that. 85, yeah, they're going to get there. They did. They got an extra couple of percentage points this go around, but far, like by far, 92% of black women, 85% of black men. I think we're being damn respectful and supportive. I mean, I don't necessarily, like, when we talk about identity politics, I know it gets thrown on the left a lot, but we can talk about how the right has used it a lot, and I will be doing my, I guess next week I have to come back and do a volume 3 and put Megyn Kelly on it, because she's going to be the one, and we can talk about how the last 10 years has been like a reverse Uno card on the whole entire civil rights movement. That is something I think will be great to discuss next week. But at the end of the day, I like to say rest in peace, Nikki Giovanni. One of my favorite poems. It's called, I want to get it right, You Came To. Yeah, it's a short, little sweet poem called You Came To that I enjoyed from Nikki Giovanni. I'm not going to recite it, but I'll throw it in the chat because I love you guys. I've thrown some links in the chat. One is to the full-length conversation between Nikki Giovanni and James Baldwin. I think it is a very interesting conversation. You may see some points of conversation that are still fresh to go in these days and times that I'm speaking. I also included the super discussion with James Baldwin, Malcolm X, C. Eric Lincoln, James Baldwin, I already said, and George Schuler, Esquire. That's what they were saying. That's how they said his name, Esquire. But then but that is one of the ones that you guys should probably check out, because you're going to hear this guy and he's going to sound exactly like Judge Joe Brown. Accent and all. And he's going to be saying some things sort of like Judge Joe Brown. At the end of the day, let me say this about Judge Joe Brown. Although he is the face of the Anatomy of Ethan Hater Volume 2, I do see when I'm speaking from him, and the reason why I was able to do further research from what he said is because he is a well-studied intellectual man. I don't know if I would have agreed with him back in the 60s when he was, yelling at Nikki Giovanni in the BSU. I don't necessarily agree with all of his views now, but he does give solid information. And one thing that I do not think about him, I do not think that he has an ill will towards Black Americans. I just don't. I think he is is somebody that's out to do some good. And even in doing that good, sometimes the message isn't the way he goes about communicating isn't the best way. I totally agree with Flashback that he could have been way more respectful of Kamala Harris, especially in that speech, and he wasn't. And as a community, we're going to have to deal with these people. We're going to have to deal with enemies from within. We're going to have to deal with enemies from without. But these enemies and these friends and these allies aren't necessarily the same skin tone. You know what I mean? It takes all of us. We all got to fight in this. But as I wrap up for the end of the week, I'm going to let you know that we'll definitely be doing a volume 3 next Wednesday. Great conversation. I'm glad that the content provoked some thought. We got some great comments in here, a lot of back and forth. We can't agree on everything. Even on the stuff that we agree, there's still disagreements in there. And it's always good to come together and talk about these little nuances of life. I love it. I love it. And I hope you guys enjoyed watching Talking Shit, Getting Clicks, Wee episodes with your boy, the man, your host, Mo 3 times. Now, if you give me a second, I will make sure you are exiting this show with some banging ass exit music. You heard? Yeah. Thanks for coming out. Thanks for coming out. Thanks for coming out. If you want to go check the show, you can go rewatch, and that's going to be the thumbnail. The Anatomy of a Hater, Volume 2, Judge Joe Brown with his crown out there. Let me know in the comments. You can still comment on the show afterwards. You can still always call in, leave a message. Cardo, Flashback, Aunt Sherry, Ev Love, everybody, Mainline, Southside, Ramid, Tormenta, Scotty T, everybody who came out, I appreciate you, and I'll see you next week. Yeah.
What's up, people? Here we are back in the Talking Shit, Getting Clicks.
Groovy. Oh no, I can't end it all out. Hold on, I need one more of these.